There's a quote from your book, which is called "My Life," and it came out in 2004. And talk about like there's a lot of vivid memories. I mean, everything, game memories and family memories. Talk about did you keep a journal as you were growing up and everything?
No, I ain't keep no journal. I kept a journal in my mind. So all of it was from memory and experiences, obviously. And when you sit down and write in a book, you just all of a sudden things that you don't remember, they just all of a sudden come to your mind, and you're able to put it down on paper, and you see how vivid those memories are really stuck in the back of your mind.
And I wanted to ask you, there's a Will Rogers quote, said, "Live your life so that whenever you lose, you're ahead." How special was that quote to you?
It's a very special quote, I think, because not too many people get an opportunity to do something that they love to do. For do things in life that they want to do in life, and so every day I try to live my life accordingly, and try to do something special every single day, and stay focused as best as I can.
I wanted to talk about, you had a tough childhood in Oklahoma, Tulsa, outside of Tulsa, and what kept you going through your tumultuous childhood, like mentally, what kept you going?
Well, I'm not sure. I think God gave me a gift. I think to put things in compartments in my mind and not let things really affect me. And so things that I went through, things that my family went through, I was able to sort things out in my mind, and not really let what was happening in my family life affect me too much. Where a lot of people that goes through things like what I went through growing up can really take them out, take themselves out of society. But I was very fortunate that he gave me that gift to really put things in perspective, and also the gift to play basketball. So, and that helped a lot, because that was kind of like my way of getting away from things and working things out. Whenever I was stressed out, I would go to the basketball court.
Talk about like your mother and your grandmother, they raised you, and the strength and vigor that they had. How did it translate to you?
hmm Well, obviously, you love to have a male in your life that's, from a male standpoint, to teach you certain things about life. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case growing up. I had uncles, but they wasn't like my father. So our whole deal is just, just trying to be a family, and live life accordingly, and do things in the right way. But my grandmother and my mother was there for me, and teaching me certain things, what I need to do in order to live my life in a way that, I'm not going out there and embarrassing them, too much. But understanding that, hey, in order for you to get through life, you have to do these certain things in order to prosper. And, I had to thank my grandmother a lot, because she was a very praying woman. And so she used to pray for us all the time. Growing up in a household full of boys, it could take a toll on, two women trying to raise 8 boys. And so, it was tough.
Now, I'm going to mention two names, Bruce Benjamin and Michael Dogan. Talk about the significance of those two gentlemen.
Huh. Well, Bruce Benjamin was a former teammate of mine when I was little, a childhood friend, I can honestly say. But, my life kind of changed a little bit, my perspective on certain things and certain items, and, the selfishness that comes along with being a individual playing in a team sport. But it was a situation where I was supposed to get a win the MVP when I was in the sixth grade, and it was given to Bruce Benjamin, who was averaging 3 points a game, and I was averaging like 20 some points a game, and everybody knew that I was coming there to pick up my hardware that night, and I did too. I knew my grandmother was there and what have you, and so when the coach called out Bruce Benjamin's name, and I just like sunk in my seat, and I like couldn't believe it, and nobody else. Everybody looked at me like in shock, and it took everything to hold the tears back, because I didn't want to, shed any tears while I was there. But when I got outside, man, I would like let it out. My grandmother was there to console me and stuff like that. And so, but it taught me a lesson, about putting values on, you know, certain things, and I never valued a trophy, ever again, no matter what it was. You know what I mean? It was just about really just winning and getting, the sacrifices that you have to make in order to win, and not think about yourself, and the success and all the awards come along with it, which I have received a lot of awards during my playing career, but it's not something that I put an emphasis on, saying I'm going to go out and do this and win the MVP and do all that. No, I just go out and just play the game just to win.
And Michael Dogan was someone that when it came to dunking, right?
Yeah, when it came to dunking, this kid, he was like about 6 foot, but I mean, just jump out the gym. I mean, he was like in the 9th grade, he was dunking the basketball, and I was like shocked. And so I asked him one day, I said, how can you jump so high? He said, all I do is toe raises, late at nighttime. And that's what I started doing, toe raises. I was like in the 10th grade, and by the 11th grade, I was like dunking. And by the 12th grade, I was really dunking. And so, certain people come along in your life, and you just kind of pay attention, and you kind of ask them, for advice. And he was younger than me, but they was called the Dogan boys. So all their brothers could dunk, and they was high flyers. They couldn't play a lick, but they can jump. Yeah, the athleticism. Yeah. I shouldn't say they couldn't play a lick. They could play, but they wasn't just level. But they can really get off the ground, and that's what they did, toe races.
Ask you like about Monty. Was Monty your older brother? Vince's real name, but Monty his nickname, and your best friend Daniel Cephas. They had unlimited athletic potential, and it didn't happen. Like, how much did that inspire you to take care of business when you were given the opportunity?
Well, you look back upon certain things that goes on in your life, and you draw upon those experiences, and you look at, how can you better yourself and what it takes in order to better yourself. And so the main thing was, not to go down the same path that they did. Unfortunately, my brother, he spent time in the penitentiary because of the mistakes he made. And, he was a very talented individual, could have played professional football. He was a football player. And he had all the opportunities to, do something with his life, full ride scholarships and what have you. But unfortunately, the street gang caught up to him, and he wanted to, live his life in a way that, it was going to cost you. And unfortunately, it caught up to him. And Daniel Cephas was a friend of mine who I grew up with, and we ran around and we did a lot of dirt together. But unfortunately, it caught up to him too. He ended up killing himself in a high-speed chase with the police, and lost his life. And that was like a awakening call for me, to really. And I was like in the 12th grade when this happened. Actually, my freshman year in college, and that really kind of got to me because this is a guy who I knew his heart. You know what I mean? It's something that. When you think a person is a bad person, and you truly not, it's just the circumstances, push them towards to do certain things in life that they really don't want to do, but the circumstances pushes them towards that. And if they don't have that proper guidance, they're going to get involved in a lot of things. And unfortunately, he was a very talented individual, but, how he grew up and things that he's been involved in, got him caught up, and, he's lost his life. He really, he was a very good-hearted individual, but, when you in that, atmosphere and you're doing things, eventually it's going to catch up to you.